here I am. I'm a criminal. We love to see it. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. Back at it again with a new video. This time, I read the Wig, the Bitch, and The Meltdown by Jay Manuel, so you didn't have to. Despite the, clickbaity sort of title of this video, I didn't actually mind the book. I think overall it's gonna get like a 3 stars, which is pretty average, pretty run-of-the-mill. However, y'all, I got a 3-page document that I gotta talk about. We gotta talk about this. So, let's get into it. I have it broken down into categories because I'm so cute and I wrote a whole thing for me to say today. So I've got section 1 is the reason I chose to read this book. I think I might skip around. I think I might do the summary first. Okay, so the summary. The Wig, the Bitch, and The Meltdown is a satirical look behind the scenes of the Model Muse, a fictional reality model competition show and a global phenomenon. Seeing through the eyes of our moral compass, Pablo Michaels, the heart of production in the helter-skelter world of Model Muse, we see behind the scenes and backstage shenanigans of the fashion reality TV world as the fixer. Pablo is the man everyone turns to in a crisis, struggling to hold the fledgling production together. He juggles his duties to his BFF, the ruthless yet vulnerable anti-hero Keisha Cash, his supermodel boss, while trying to hold on to his own soul. So, the reason I chose to read this book, okay, so if you watch drama videos, you know who Petty Paige is. If you don't, she used to be called Petty Paige, now she goes by Paige Christie. I will link her video that I'm about to talk about into the description box so you can check it out for yourself. So on February 18th, Paige Christie put out a video called How Tyra Ruined Lives, Surviving Tyra Banks. And I think it's pretty obvious that I was instantly hooked, and y'all, I clicked so fast. Like, I don't think I'm subscribed to her or anything. I used to be probably a long time ago when I was like, y'all know Dramageddon. Okay. So I was probably subscribed at one point, so YouTube recommended her video and I clicked. I never clicked so fast in my life. I was afraid it was going to get taken down, quite honestly. So I'm going to link the video in the description box. I highly recommend that you do check it out because it's going to be a pretty big precursor for why I chose to go ahead and pick this book up. Basically, in the video, Paige highlights Tyra's career, including the show America's Next Top Model, and explains why so many people are accusing Tyra of some pretty astonishing things. In the video, Paige mentioned a fictional, okay, we're going to be doing a lot of air quotes today, for the purposes of A, not getting sued, and B, not getting sued. So, Paige mentioned a fictional book by Jay Manuel about a fictional modeling competition reality show, which, by the way, I love. I am a sucker for some reality TV. Big Brother, Challenge, Survivor, Amazing Race, Love is Blind. Y'all, are you watching Love is Blind, or did you watch Love is Blind, I guess I should say, because okay, so fictional reality TV show, I am down. I used to love America's Next Top Model, and it's making me look at it through a finer lens, if you will, a little bit more of a scope. I love fictional reality TV shows in books as well. To name a few, well, I mean, it's not really a reality show, but come on, it was Bachelor-esque. Kara Cass's selection series? I couldn't remember what it was called for a second. So that's basically really all I can say without giving too much away for Paige Christina's video. So if you haven't checked it out, please do so. If you need to stop watching this video, go watch that one. Come on back to me. I will take you through the journey that was this book. So obviously it follows Pablo, who we'll get into it in a second. But Pablo is essentially Jay and, or how did I say this? I think I'm going to refer to everyone as their character in the book, but I will say who they remind me of. So Pablo is Jay, reminds me of Jay, okay? And it is essentially, we're following the friendship between Jay and Keisha Cash. And the fictional reality show that is Model Muse, which reminds me of America's Next Top Model, okay? So because this is booktube, I do kind of want to address the writing and the book itself. Let's see. The book is very character focused, so you're getting tons of dialogue, which does help to sort of, you know, go through the book much faster. Like, you can see there's hella quotation marks, like every page has thick dialogue, which is fantastic for getting through it faster. However, I did choose to download an audiobook because the first page was really dense. The writing is quite descriptive. Let's see. It says the first sentence. Metal catering racks crashed into each other as the ebony-skinned model, hair set in pin curls, face in full glam, fell out of the doorway and into the deserted back alley outside the illustrious Fashion Week venue. That was one sentence. That was the first sentence. The writing is, it's dense. This is Jay's first book, and it does show, okay? The writing was good. It wasn't great. It was good. I definitely got the point across. So I forgot to mention that this book was published in August of 2020. So, and I didn't really find that out until midway through when I looked at the publication date. For some reason, I was thinking it was published a long, more time ago, right? But anyways, and while this book is fiction, it does feel more like revenge fiction. And there's nothing really inherently wrong with revenge fiction. It kind of made it more like I ate it up. So getting into the characters for a second, we're introduced to many characters over the course of the book, and many strike a resemblance to some real people we may or may not be familiar with, especially if you have seen America's Next Top Model. So like I said, for the purposes of this video and not being sued, we will say these characters remind me of a person. So for example, I'm gonna say Pablo reminds me of Jay. Keisha Cash reminds me of Tyra Banks. Come on, Cash Banks. Miss Thang reminds me of Miss J. Alexander. Mason Hughes reminds me of, oh my god, I forgot to look up his name. Mason Hughes reminds me of Nigel Barker. Sasha reminds me of Janice Dickinson, and the contestants are sort of interchangeable throughout. So I am going to say, if you enjoyed watching America's Next Top Model, this may not be the book that you want to pick up, simply because it will shine a negative light on that series. And don't get me wrong, it was eye-opening, it was necessary, especially as we get into some of the rumors, allegations, and parallels, which is my next section. However, this is my spoilery section. If you don't mind being spoiled because you don't think you'll ever pick this book up, come hang out with me. If you do want to pick this book up, I have a link in my description box for you. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you do choose to click on that link, I will get a small commission. If you don't want to, the title is The Wig, the Bitch, and The Meltdown. Either way. So, we're going to get into the spoilers here. So I'm going to rely heavily on my notes. So if I'm not paying attention to you, it's not that I don't want to make eye contact with you or anything. It's just that I have a fat stack. So this is now the spoilery portion of this video. If you have no interest in reading this book, come hang out. If you want to read this book, I recommend you go. Okay, so let's see here. Rumors, allegations, and parallels. For the sake of, keeping it in order, I will be separating these bits into I don't believe it, I'm unsure, or it's believable. So there are quite a few to get into. I don't really have any that I didn't believe, but I really felt like including that in there because it felt like if I'm going to have unsure and it could be believable, I should have something to balance it out. Unfortunately, there's nothing to balance it out with. So we'll hop right into unsure. So the whole Mason Pablo thing, in this book, trigger warning, first of all, trigger warning for sexual assault and trigger warning for body shaming. So let's get into this, the whole Mason Pablo thing. So in the book, Mason, who is a straight male, is coming on to Pablo, which there's really nothing wrong with that. But Pablo was like, are you flirting with me? And Mason was all like, no. And then next thing you know, Mason was essentially on top of Pablo. So there was definitely, in this book, there was a attempt at something more than a friendly relationship, and it went so far as basically it was sexual assault. There's not really another word for it. So as far as that goes, and the parallel to real life Mason and Pablo, I don't want to say I don't believe it, and I don't want to just dismiss it or claim that it's true or anything like that. Again, this is what is in this book. We are meant to draw parallels from this book to what actually happened on Model Muse real life counterpart, America's Next Top Model, right? So again, I don't want to say that that was false, because I never want to dismiss a sexual assault. However, there is no real life evidence that would point me to say I could believe it. So I put it in the unsure category. So next up, Miss Keisha Cash. Miss Keisha Cash wearing wigs is a major theme throughout. There is a wig change every couple chapters. And Keisha goes so far as to steal a contestant's hair. So remember in America's Next Top Model where they did the model makeovers, and Tyra would have the contestants get a makeover. Well, similarly in the show Model Muse, starring Keisha Cash, they were also given makeovers. And in one makeover, there was a girl with beautiful red hair, and Keisha stole the girl's hair. She had her hair shaved, and Keisha stole the hair. The next segment we're going to be talking about is the things, the rumors, allegations, parallels that I could believe. So number one on the list is the show is rigged. I mean, come on, like, it's reality TV. Everybody knows that reality isn't always reality. As a matter of fact, I did want to read this passage to you. This is sort of the author himself and a take on a little thing that I would like to read to you. So it says, the world of reality TV is not real, and yet reality television has morphed it into reality. I've worked in this world of smoke and mirrors, and when the smoke dissipates, the mirror reflects the truth. Jay Manuel. So, obviously, we know that reality isn't always real. So, reality TV isn't always real anyway. So, that's why I put that at number one, the show is rigged. Because if there's anything from my list that I would believe 100%, put my money on, it's that. However, because Model Muse is a fictional show in a fictional book, obviously we are meant to take those things at face value, for at least that I did anyway. So number two, Pablo being the fix-it and playing a bigger role in the show than the show let on. I believe this. I do believe this, especially as we get into later seasons. I did go ahead and watch season 9, which if you did watch Paige Christina's video, you know that that's kind of where things went out of control. So I did watch season 9 episode 1, if nothing else. I wasn't interested in going any further because there's too many damn cycles of America's Next Top Model. So anyways. Number 3, models are not allowed to talk off camera, so all conversations are recorded. I do sort of believe this because multiple people from America's Next Top Model have mentioned this, so I do believe that it did happen in Model Muse, okay? Number 4, Keisha being late all the time. I believe this because diva's gonna diva, right? There is no show really without Keisha Cash. Number 5, producers screwing contestants. I believe it, and I'll tell you why I believe it, because I everyone's screwing everyone in every form of everything, and why not have a contestant screw a producer to get a win? I believe it. Number 6, Keisha not wearing a microphone. I believe that because it's such a small, minute detail that plays such a huge role in the book. I do believe it. I might be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. Number 7 is Pablo designed the font. So Pablo allegedly designed the font for Model Muse. Number 8, the talk show. So there's a whole bit in here where essentially Keisha and Pablo are going to get a talk show. And I believe this because in real life, our counterpart, or, you know, Keisha Cash, who reminds me of Tyra Banks, did get a Tyra Banks show, and in the book, Keisha Cash was slated to get a talk show called The Keisha Cash Show. So, that's why I believe that one. Number 9, Sasha. Sasha, if you do remember, reminds me of Janice Dickinson. It is alleged that Miss Sasha was on some pills to stay awake. I believe it. Also going into details because she has a lot of Sasha has had a lot of plastic surgery, and that is very painful. So I believe that Sasha would probably need some pills to get through her copious amounts of plastic surgery. Again, nothing wrong with plastic surgery here, but it's something to note. Number 10, Miss Thang being nasty. So Miss Thang reminds me of Jay Alexander. Miss Jay Alexander. So in the counterpart to Model Muse, remember, Model Muse reminds me of America's Next Top Model. In America's Next Top Model, Miss Jay Alexander was always having witty one-liners and saying some things that were kind of raunchy. So I buy that Miss Thang was a little nasty, even more nasty behind the scenes. That is all my notes. So I did just kind of want to take a second to talk about one of the other trigger warnings that I mentioned, the sort of body shaming. So it's a theme throughout that Keisha Cash is getting to be a little larger. And it is a plot point. It is focused on, it's a focal point. Her body is very much a focal point of a lot of the book. So you do have to take that and the trigger warning for a sexual assault into account before choosing to read this book. I don't feel like I gave too many spoilers that even if you watch the whole thing, you couldn't read the book, but I digress. That is everything I have to say about The Wig, The Bitch, and The Meltdown. If you did pick this book up, let me know what your thoughts are. If you've read it before, let me know. If you are going to read it because of this video, let me know. And if you have absolutely no interest, but you just want to talk about the nastiness that was in this book and you want more information, hit me up. I would be so happy to hear from you. So that is going to be it for today's video. I hope to read another controversial book and speak to you all very soon. That is going to be it for today's video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like me and would like to see more from me, please hit subscribe. I'd be so happy to have you. Alright, I hope that you are being safe, washing your hands, taking care of yourselves. Bye guys.